and welcome to my channel. So for today's video, I found this soap making kit at the thrift store. So let's give it a try. So it looks like it has been used. I do already know that because when I look at these kits, I normally open them just to make sure it has at least most of the items. And if it doesn't, what items I would need to find online if I'm able to. So we have a mold with a flower, a peace sign, a square, and a rectangle. We have some little wooden sticks and some pipettes. And then this looks like the soaps and the dyes. Let's see, it originally is supposed to have a 4 mold sheet, so we have that. 16 pounds of clear, 16 ounces of clear and 16 ounces of white soap base. I can already tell you we have all of the clear, but not all of the white, but that's okay. Red colorant, blue colorant, yellow colorant, green colorant, 3 soap stirs. How did they go through some of the dye but not use any of the stirs? 2 soap droppers. So that's the pipettes, and an instruction sheet. I don't see an instruction sheet, but I think we can figure it out. It's just melting. Most of these kits you can use the microwave from what I've seen online, and then you just add the dye and mix it in. So I'm probably going to use some paper bowls for this because I don't know how hard it's going to be to wash out of my regular ceramic. So we got purple, which it looks like is pretty full. We've got red that has about a quarter left. Clear. Oh, lavender scent. So we can scent them. Green, which a quarter to an eighth left. Blue with about the same as the green. And yellow with about the same. Hopefully it'll be enough. So I do want to have a play with them, but I also have a project in mind. So with a lot of them being very low, I am going to set a couple of them aside. I'm also wondering why these 2 are the only one with this top, and then the rest have the little triangles. Oh, and they're from Michael's. Wait. Yeah, even on the soaps, it's the same address. So they're all from Michael's. So I'm assuming this kit is from Michael's. And by the way, it was $4.99, and yes. So I know it's very close, but I have a very small setup. It's the same address on here, and it was $4.99 from the thrift store. So I think what I'm going to do first is I'm going to break up some of the clear with a knife in the kitchen and melt it down. So I will be right back with that. So we've got our clear base soap melted. I did 2 30-second intervals. I did have to Google it because I was a little scared to burn it. Got my stir stick. It looks like it's already starting to solidify on the top, but that might give it a cool effect. It was almost boiling when I took it out. Because I have the most of the purple, that's what I'm going to use. Let's see how dark that gets it. I want to add some colorant, or some scent rather. It smells very artificial. It does smell like lavender, but it smells artificial for sure. I do also have a small funnel. I don't know if this is going to work or not, but that's what I'm doing. Whoop. Yep, I got it on my hand again. Yep, not with that bowl. Not with the bowl. I think I just made a bigger mess. I was trying to keep away from making a mess. As long as sets, we're good. And the internet also told me it can take a couple of hours to set, so let me leave that to cool. It is so messy. This has been in the refrigerator, and I'm noticing it's got like a film on it, but what I was noticing as well is it's difficult, but once, like, do you see how it's darker in the middle part? It's because I was able to get the edges off, but now I don't know how to get the middle off. All right, so we're noticing a little difference here. I don't know if you can see it, but there we go. So I think it's just harder because it's got the indentations. Dog hair. That's not horrible. There is this little spot right here, and the back looks really rough. But it's not bad. In fact, it's kind of cute. It's not as swirly as I was hoping for, but I knew that was going to happen. So I've got something a little weird up my sleeve here. I sketched this out and colored it in very scribbly just to get an idea, and I pre-made a few colors, pretty much all the colors that I would need. And the idea is that I'm going to try and cut them out with an X-Acto knife, which I have right here, and try and piece them together. But I need a base color here for the background. So I did all of these colors with the white base, so it would be solid. I want to do the background with the clear. What I'm thinking of doing is just pouring it in plain clear and then adding the color on top and seeing how that does. So I've melted up some white. It does have some bubbles and a bit of a film, but I think it'll be okay. We're just gonna pour it in here. And I'm trying to work fast. I want green. And yellow. Now let's try and stir it around and swirl it. I think that's the best that we're going to get, so I'm going to let that solidify now. I'm going to pull out my cutting mat and cut this out really fast. I'm actually going to cut the bird out as a whole because I'm going to layer the branch over top of it. I did this off camera because it's been incredibly tedious. It didn't work out how I wanted to, obviously. I'm having to kind of mosaic it together. I've got as much detail as I can get going right now. I don't know if you can hear it in the background, but I've got water boiling. I'm trying the double boiler method to see if it'll help with the bubbles. Because I'm going to attempt to do a thin layer of the clear. And hopefully it doesn't separate because of all of this water. But I'm going to attempt to do a thin layer of the clear and then add more detail and then the branch and then be done. with this one at least. I don't know if you can see over here, but I've started putting some of my scraps in this one because the attempt for this one is to use up some of these scraps and do like a terrazzo effect, but with clear instead of the white, because I've already cut up a bunch of the clear, and just have it be all scrappy. So it's just about ready. I remembered that it had pipettes, and I did also wipe this down, but it's already like oozing again. But I remembered it had pipettes, so I'm gonna try and put the clear on with a pipette so that it doesn't move it all around all over the place. Hopefully that'll work. All right, it is sucking it up. I think that hopefully that should work. I'm also realizing that I should have probably done the background a darker shade as well. So I've touched up a few things. I decided not to do the part where I try and paint with it because I just didn't think it would turn out well. And I did the little red with that, and I added a few more layers just to make sure it was visible because some things were starting to look a little muddy. So I'm just gonna, whoop, there's a bubble. So I'm just gonna try and fill this in the best I can. Once this is cooled enough, I'm intentionally going like way further over than I need to. Once it's cooled enough, I'll just take a knife and try and chop it back. I just want it to look, oh, that was not a good idea. I've already done it. Oh, crap. I'm gonna try something. If it melts them all together, I'm honestly fine with that. Technically we have 4, because if you forgot, we already did a peace sign earlier. I was trying to do like a real messy one here with leftover pieces crumpled in it, but this is all we've got left, is some white base, a little bit of green left over, and the stuff I scraped off of the back of that one, and this, and I don't think it'll be enough to fill that. I might do it off camera and when I scrape this. But still, we got 4 from a used kit. I'm not complaining about that. I'm gonna let this one set a little bit, and then I'm gonna pop them in the refrigerator. Cut the backs off of these. This one's actually perfectly flush. This is where we're at. I could not get this one smooth. Wiping off the water or whatever it is, condensation, helps a little bit. I tried to shave it down, but because I poured it in layers, it kind of just peeled off some of the layers. But if you put light behind it, for instance, you can see it really well. So what I'm gonna do here is take some plastic wrap, and I'm sorry for the reflection. And I'm gonna practice on this one. So professionally speaking, like soap making businesses, like small businesses, handmade soaps, would do this with like a shrink wrap, like an actual one. We don't have that luxury here. Couple of things that I wanted to mention while I'm doing this is I did do the research. Michaels no longer carries this kit, but I did find a few similar kits on their app that you can purchase. One of them is even on clearance. I'll pop that up on screen now. And another thing is, earlier I was mistaken. I'd said that I'd only had enough soap for 4.5 soaps that was left. Although this was a used kit, that still would have been pretty good. I had completely forgotten that when I was doing the double boiler method earlier, some of my soap had water boil over. And because of that, it ruined the soap because it boiled into the soap itself. So I was just reaching around to grab a piece of washi tape. So this one will be display. These two, I think I'm gonna try and give away maybe for Christmas. And this one I'm not gonna wrap at all. So these 3 total, I'm going to be wrapping in plastic wrap. So as you can see, these were squared, well, square in a rectangle. This one was a little bit more difficult with it being an unusual shape. What I ended up doing is just putting it in the middle and twisting it. And the tape isn't even sticking. I might need a longer piece. And then this one's just going to go in the bathroom. Let's go ahead and do a suds test with this really fast. And we'll be right back. So I just wanted to see how this suds really quick. I tried to shave off the back a little and I was struggling, but it was already wet. Oh, that's not bad. It gets pretty sudsy. And I don't feel like a gross residue or anything either. I was kind of expecting to feel one, but I like it. Well, I was actually really impressed with this. I tried to dry it off the best I could, but even before you get it wet, it's wet. So unfortunately, that's just how it is. This is going to go back in the bathroom sink, but have you ever tried a soap kit? Like a melt and pour soap kit? Let me know what you think. If you've done it before, don't forget to like and subscribe, and don't forget to stay artsy. Bye, guys.